Welcome back to New Rockstars, I'm Erik Voss, and Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker has been blanketing us with near-daily TV spots and behind-the-scenes featurettes, so let's review all the new clues that are tucked into each of these promos and take the risk of discussing a Star War without a hashtag Baby Yoda in it. Spoiler warning in case my speculation reveals too much. Now, I have not read any of the rumored plot leaks because I consider that to be cheating in this game that only I seem to be sticking to the rules of. Let's start with a promo spot titled End.
All we've done all this time.
What are you doing there, 3PO?
Taking one last look, sir, at my friend.
This promo extends the footage of 3PO's apparent farewell, whether via interfacing with a ship or a rebooting memory wipe of some sort. He now says,
All we've done all this time.
signaling to me that he could be reliving past and present simultaneously, maybe even memories before the memory wipe at the end of the prequels. We also hear the notes of Rey's theme during all this. Each of these spots features a different one of John Williams' compositions. We'll get to another big one later. There are also shots of Rey and Kylo in that white room that we've seen them in before, looking upon that burnt mask of Darth Vader right before they shatter the pedestal. And we get a better look at Kylo's reassembled helmet. Its broken shards fused together, forming these red streaks, not unlike the black tattoos on the red skin of Darth Maul. Keep that in mind for later. There's another shot of Rey facing Kylo, both their lightsabers drawn in what looks like a blizzard-covered ruins. Maybe from the ice planet we've seen other shots of. There are open flames all about, suggesting this is like mid-battle. And in the distance behind Rey, you can make out another figure approaching them, perhaps one of the Knights of Ren or a First Order officer. And one more shot before we move on. Rey leaps from the deck of a space station bay to the departing Falcon, which blows back all the stormtroopers, but not Rey or Kylo, implying that they're using the Force to keep their ground. Using the Falcon this way calls back the way Han blasted back the smugglers in The Force Awakens. On to the next promo spot titled Feet. This promo gives us one of our best yet looks at the Knights of Ren, scanning the surrounding area from a cliff on the new desert planet of Pasaana. There's also a shot of Kylo with his saber through a resistance soldier on that ashy forest location that we've seen him in before. In other footage, he reaches out his hand, perhaps performing a kind of forced push. And we'll see if this is actually a flashback to an earlier period. Maybe it's before he rose up through the ranks of the First Order. And in the midst of this battle imagery, there's a brief shot of the new red-armored Sith troopers. Now, among all these promos have been two behind-the-scenes featurettes that reveal some of the interesting cameos we'll be getting. Lin-Manuel Miranda appears, seen in some kind of resistance uniform, and Ed Sheeran wears stormtrooper armor. But most interestingly, Warwick Davis appears in an Ewok costume. Davis played the Ewok Wicket in Return of the Jedi when he was still a young kid, but now he is in costume as his current age, suggesting this is new, and Wicket the Ewok might be returning for the Rise of Skywalker, along with presumably the planet Endor. I don't think Ewoks get around. Another clip we've seen a lot of was revealed by director J.J. Abrams on Good Morning America last week.
We've spotted the fugitives.
They fly now? They fly now!
So the whole gang is on a kind of desert skiff on Pasaana, fleeing, pursuing stormtroopers whose rovers launch from the back end to allow the stormtroopers to use these boosters to chase them. I love that we get some more bowcaster action from Chewie, and that throughout this chaos, the designers maintain the whole color scheme of green blaster bolts from the bad guys, red blaster bolts from the good guys to help us keep track of everything. Now the next promo spot is the most interesting to me, titled Duel. It derives from the music Duel of the Fates, John Williams' Darth Maul theme from The Phantom Menace.
This will be the final word in the story of Skywalker.
Now sure, Duel of the Fates is just one of the most iconic musical themes from the entire Star Wars symphonic catalog, but it is worth noting that it is a prequel-specific theme that, until now, has only been used outside the prequels in Solo: A Star Wars Story during Maul's cameo. A past trailer included the cryptic image of a dark side Rey with a Maul-style dual-wield lightsaber, something that we have gotten a closer look of now that it's on display. It's also interesting how J.J. Abrams singled out Maul as the one prequel character he was most bummed to see get killed off. Now, to be clear, the animated series both resurrected Maul from his apparent death on Naboo, and then later killed him off again in Rebels in a Tatooine rematch with Obi-Wan set before A New Hope. So Maul, as we know him, is dead in the corporeal sense. But so we thought is the Emperor, yet he is returning in some way. I'm just saying, with all these clues, I would not be too shocked if episode 9 pays homage to or even resurrects Maul, and we explained how that could happen on our recent episode of Rogue Theory. Go give that a watch. This promo also shows the Falcon zipping through the innards of a space station pursued by TIE fighters, very similar to the run by Lando in the Numb in the Battle of Endor. We also see Rey having returned to Luke's island on Ahch-2, now staring at the flaming wreckage of a TIE silencer, maybe the same one that she matadored in the Pisana footage. Perhaps it's a return to the Sith cave on that island where we see this dark side Rey. And on to the next promo titled Celebrate. Now this promo again shows us Kylo with the Knights of Ren. They're marching through the hall that other shots have shown Poe and Finn in, and it looks as though Kylo is following their dirty footsteps on the polished floor there. There's an interesting shot of Leia clutching a lightsaber. I think that's the lightsaber of Anakin, and of course then Luke, and then of course then Rey. So while this could be a flashback of Luke training Leia in the ways of the Force between the events of Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens, something we've all been speculating we could be seeing in this film, remember, Luke presumably lost that lightsaber on Cloud City in The Empire Strikes Back, and it didn't show up until later when Maz Kanata had it while Luke was in exile in The Force Awakens. So timeline-wise, what we're seeing here is either some kind of vision, or a Force ghost, or a CGI recreated Leia training with Rey in a jungle planet. We'll see. Another shot shows Poe dramatically piloting the Falcon, bathed in green light, perhaps from the beam of a Death Star-style super laser. Now, assuming this is the end of the saga, I think we can expect at least some of these heroes not to survive this war. And the most recent promo as of this taping is titled, Hold On. You gotta hold on. Are they just like doing encouraging pop anthems? Anyway, this includes Rey performing the Jedi mind control trick. She now uses the hand wave used by Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon in the past, as opposed to her accidentally using it on a stormtrooper in The Force Awakens.
You will remove these restraints and leave this cell with the door open.
I will remove these restraints and leave the cell with the door open.
What do you think will be the most surprising cameo or callback in The Rise of Skywalker? Comment down below with your thoughts. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at EA Voss. Follow New Rockstars on socials. And subscribe to New Rockstars on YouTube. And follow our New Rockstars podcast feed, WikiLeaks, for early audio access to our Star Wars updates, our classic Star Wars film rewatch series, and our breakdowns of The Mandalorian starring Baby Yoda. Thanks for joining me. Bye.